I'm not wearing a wedding ring because sadly I am getting divorced. It's a long story. It's a very, very, very long story. And I think that the easiest and simplest way for me to put it is that Daniel and I agreed to move to Tasmania together, and we were going to sell our house in Sydney. So I moved here first and got a rental property, and I was looking for a place for us to buy, and he was staying in Sydney, continuing to work, doing up our place to sell it. And as time went by and we were apart, he changed his mind and didn't want to move and asked for a divorce. And I thought I would move back to the mainland. I'd give up on the Tasmanian dream, but at the end of the day, he did end up saying to me, you should stay there. You're happier and healthier. And, you know, he made the call at the end of the day, and there was a really low point in my life where I was trying to keep things under wraps because I wasn't entirely convinced that we were actually going to get divorced. You know, I thought that given some time, things would fall back into place. And I pretended everything was okay online, and rumors did end up flying around because people found pictures of our house sale and they saw that Dan was in photos and he wasn't wearing a wedding ring, and things started flying, and I ended up having to address it before I was mentally ready to. And I had a really hard time. And I have not wanted to return to YouTube for a long time because Dan and I built this channel together. So much of my content has him in it with me, and the thought of having to come back and sit down and do what I'm doing right now it's not been a possibility for me until this day. You know, there's this saying that it'll hurt every day until one day it doesn't. It's not hurting as much right now as it has. And when I was lying on the bed tonight and I did the Q&A, obviously some questions started coming in from people asking what happened. And I thought, you know what? I feel like I can do this. I feel like for the first time I can sit down and I can talk about this. So I'm really happy to be back. I've been dreading this moment. I've been so worried about, you know, having to make a video and upload it and to tell people I'm getting divorced because it still doesn't feel real. But I'm at peace and I've come to terms with it now, and I'm ready to talk to you guys and read out your questions, see what you guys have to ask me, see some of your assumptions. Some of these might be a little bit spicy because it is anonymous. I did it that way specifically because I know sometimes people don't feel comfortable asking things, having their name associated with their question. So we have a little bit of an anonymous Q&A here. So without further ado, I'm going to open up our questions. We're going to start at the very bottom. We've got quite a few so far. We've got, what's this, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, so that's going to be 30, 60, there's about 100 questions here. So some of them I'll give more time to than others. Thank you so much for all of the love in the chat. I can see some really, really beautiful, amazing words of support, and I really, really appreciate it. I'm sorry that I'm not reading the chat at the moment, but I've entered, as you can see, I've got my big girl glasses on, got a little bit of cleavage out. I've entered my secretary mode, and I'm like, sorry, no questions at this time. The questions have been filed. I'll be reading off a selected list of questions that were pre-prepared. I haven't gone through these. I haven't filtered any of them. I don't know what's going to come up because the way that this questioning platform works, they all pop up as these kind of, oh God, I'm so sorry. Nope. Okay, well, never mind. It's not through Instagram. It's through you click a link and you can submit things anonymously. And I haven't opened them, so I don't know what is about to pop up. I opened a couple of them before I started just to see, what we were in for. Some of them, hilarious. Some of them, I'm like, oh my God, you actually... It's all right. It's all right. There's nothing that I'm not going to address. I'm an open book. So, without further ado, we have holy butt nuggets. Why do we have holy butt nuggets in the chat?
I welcome you guys back on here. If you're new, consider subscribing, liking, and also share this video. Quick updates on here. The Australian YouTuber that is Pretty Pastel Please, actually, whose real name is Alex, actually passed on at the age of 30, according to a couple of reports that are coming in from Australia. It's really very, very devastating, and of course, they attached via Instagram a memorial tribute where they said that we come to you today with a devastating announcement. It's with a heavy heart that we must inform you that Alex, known to many as Pretty Pastel Please, has passed away. They continued and said her passing was really sudden and very unexpected, but of course it's really very devastating and heartbreaking to all who knew her, calling the death a shock. And of course, family and friends have requested for privacy in this very, very difficult time. The post concluded with a message to fans urging them to reach out for help in case they are struggling with any kind of mental health. The cause of death has not been revealed yet, but of course, I remember early on, I think it was last year when I was watching some of her videos, and then she came out and said that, they had separated with the boyfriend, the husband, who had actually married her and helped her, to build the channel that had close to, at the time, 700,000 followers, subscribers, that they had separated. And it was really tough for her, I think, to handle. And so many people are saying that he must have been the cause of all the mental health issues, and of course a bit of depression. I don't want to preempt the autopsy and stuff like that, but of course when they relate it to mental health, obviously it's as a result of some of those issues that are associated with divorcing the then husband. It's really very heartbreaking and devastating, and we encourage anyone who is struggling with mental health issues, to seek help, because man, it's one of those most underrated issues which is affecting so many people globally. In this moment in time, we are sending our deepest condolences, sympathies, and messages of prayers to the family, friends, the fans, and everyone who really knew Alex. RIP to the Queen. The video you've just watched was one of actually her videos on Instagram and social media, trying to do her thing, which she was really doing the best, that is to create content for the platform, various social media platforms. So it's really very heartbreaking to hear the news that she has passed on. RIP to the Queen.